There's an awful lot of you here today. Okay, my name's Emily Crabtree. As Chris said, I've been with Forever for almost exactly 2 years now. It's really, really great to be able to speak to you all today, particularly at the December Success Day, because it has a really special place in my heart. It was this day 2 years ago that really changed how I felt about Forever. I, probably like a lot of you here today, just joined for a bit of extra income. I really didn't get the hype, I have to admit it. I'd cancelled a couple of one-to-ones, I just didn't think it was for me at all. Then my lovely sponsor, Victoria Bari, rang me and said, you need to come to this Success Day thing and stay for the party afterwards. Absolutely no idea what to expect. But I came along, quite shy and quiet, met some people, and then walked into a room, this room, just full of people who believed in making changes. Now, I've always felt that if I want something enough, I will find a way to make it happen. And just the achievements and the positivity really blew me away, and I felt really at home. So it's traditional, of course, to talk a little bit about us and my journey. And I called today Taking a Road Less Travelled. So I want to show you what that looks like for us. I grew up in North Yorkshire. I couldn't resist this brilliant 80s picture. It's the best family shot I could find. But I've always had a little bit of a sense of doing things differently to everyone else. And I went to a great school, but nearly everyone there went on to uni. And I just didn't want to go. I mean, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I started working instead. And eventually found myself working in the family business, learning kitchen design. You know. When I was then 21, I met my now husband. It was one of those bizarre experiences where neither of us were meant to be where we were. But, you know, the universe conspired to bring us together. He was living in London, but we met in our hometown. So then 6 months later, I thought I'd moved to London. 6 months after that, we thought we'd have a baby. And then after I got pregnant, in the interest of doing things a bit differently, we decided we might quite like to get married as well. So we did. In fact, I'm 19 weeks pregnant in that picture. But we just followed our instincts, and it felt like the right thing for us. And that seems to have led us pretty well so far. So William, our oldest, was born, and that is my dad, not Andy Waring. But isn't that a weird... right? It's not just me, is it? Andy, you understand why I was so rude and said you reminded me of my dad now. So when we had William, I found it really changed how I felt about things quite unexpectedly. And I won't bore you with the ins and outs of our parenting decisions, but we took what you might call a more sort of natural approach, I guess. And again, you know, we had people questioning us, you know, wondering why we were doing things differently. So then my husband at the time was working as a policeman and still does. He was doing 4 long days and I was doing 2, working in the NHS with teenage parents. It was a great job, but it was really quite stressful. It was really emotionally draining. We had very little time together, but it allowed us to always have one of us there with William, which was what we wanted. Then I got pregnant for the second time. Little Benjamin came along. And whilst I was on maternity leave for that second time, Joe's shift pattern was changed. And it made the decision for us about whether I could go back to work or not. It was really frustrating at the time, and it made us make that decision for me to go self-employed, because we felt like we needed to have control back, that this, you know, our family needed to be in our control, not someone else's. So I set up my own business. I was doing social media training, and it was via that business and a networking meeting that led me to meet Vicky. There she is. One of my favourite things about Forever is the personal development journey you get to go on. There's quite a few of the team today who said, God, I could never do that. I could never go up and do what you're going to do today. And don't get me wrong, it's terrifying. But it's all part of the journey. You know, that belief and the self-confidence that Forever gives you doesn't come in your starter kit. You have to build on it, and you have to do that every day. So when I went up for supervisor about 3 or 4 months into the business, I hid right back in that corner and didn't want to talk to anyone. Then going up for assistant manager, I'd made the difficult decision to miss a friend's wedding to be here. I had my first 2 supervisors on stage, and I felt like I really needed to be here. I also felt like they were relying on me because they kept telling me I had to speak. So I threw myself out of my comfort zone and did, but it felt like such an achievement, and it really, really moved me forward. Then getting to manager, about 9 months in, got to bring Joe and the boys on stage, and managed to speak again, despite distractions. He was at one point looking between my legs as well. Never work with children or animals. And then finally getting to senior over the summer, so about 18 months in. It definitely felt a lot easier to go up by then. But it's all the stuff that people don't see. It's all the little things behind the scenes that you're doing every day that help you to kind of build that confidence and move you further along the journey. Because if you want the success that Forever offers, you know, things have to change. You have to move forward. You have to get uncomfortable. I think success in Forever isn't and shouldn't ever be defined by someone else. The beauty of what Forever offers us is that we can build our own lives according to what's important to us. For us, success means being able to do what we want to, when we want to with our boys, and not have to ask anyone's permission. We're not quite there yet, but it's made a massive difference to us already. It's more than doubled our household income. One of the most important parts of that for us is school for our boys. The income that Forever gives, alongside the time flexibility, allows us to flexi-school our boys. If that doesn't mean anything to you, it means they go to school 3 days a week and they're at home with us 2 days a week. But they go to an independent school that enables us to do that, which Forever allows us to pay for. But before you start picturing caps and blazers, it's not really that kind of place. In fact, this was our first day of term picture this year. Not your normal school uniform. It was sunny, but he wanted to wear wellies. I don't know. But it allows us to kind of challenge that perceived wisdom that only certain people can be successful in business. We're showing that, you know, you can be a great present parent and have a successful business at the same time. I think being able to help mums particularly to build that work-life balance that's right for them is one of the best things about Forever for us. So the school that they go to is about holistic education, and it's something that we feel really strongly about. So they spend a lot of time outside. They go to forest school. They're encouraged to climb trees, never mind health and safety. We get to go on school trips with them. And even meditation is part of the school day. It's not for everyone, I grant you, but it's what's right for us. And Forever's given us that opportunity. Again, we have people questioning us. It's not the norm. It's not what everyone else is doing. But it's the right road for us to be on. One of the team asked me recently whether I thought this, having done things differently, had prepped me well for Forever. And I think to a certain extent, it has. I mean, I've lost track of the amount of times I've been called a hippie mummy or something. But I've learned not to care. You know, you have to be confident in the road you're taking, and you have to be confident in following your instincts. And I think Forever's exactly the same. We're not doing what everyone else is doing. So, yes, I think it has helped me along the way, absolutely. But there have, of course, been some really big challenges. Like everyone who's been on this stage today, I can guarantee, has had some big challenges. This isn't something I ever saw myself sharing with 2,500 people. In fact, it's probably going to come as quite a shock to some of my own team, even my front line. But for a very long time, I've suffered with depression. There's been ups and downs over the years. I remember days when the boys were really little, when I could barely drag myself out of bed. Weeks when Joe had to pick up all the slack and even take time off work because I just wasn't coping. But at some point, and I'm not exactly sure when it was, the life that Forever could give us became like a light at the end of the tunnel. It gave me really practical steps that I could take to improve things both personally and financially. Through my own promotions, but also through helping other people to achieve theirs. I've learned that helping other people to recognize and overcome their demons is a great way of helping you to overcome your own, because you have to get out of your own head. You have to focus on something else. So with the kind of great ethos of support that Forever offers, it's carried me, dragged me at times, thanks Vic, and it's because I couldn't let the team down, and it's just lifted me to a place where that depression can't get to me anymore. I just got to a stage where I refused to be defined by it, and I will be forever grateful for what it's done. So. Wasn't expecting that, thanks. I didn't cry. So wherever you are in your business now, whether you're brand new in the room today like I was 2 years ago, or you've had some success but you're not where you want to be, as I said, it doesn't happen overnight. Success is not an event. It's built gradually. It's in every time you pick up the phone. It's every time you're brave in a shop and stop someone and talk to them about the business. Every time you send a Facebook message to someone. Every time someone judges you or doubts you or you hear someone say no, you're taking yourself one step closer to that success that you're looking for. And I promise you, if you really embrace Forever and what it can do for you, then at some point something will make you turn around and look at everything you've achieved, all the people that you've helped, and the person you've become because of it. And you'll wonder how the hell it all happened, because you were just getting on with it. But you'll be really, really glad, like I am, that you took that leap of faith and took a road less traveled.